I'm Jennifer with Somerset County Family and Community Health Science Department, and I'm here today alone. I don't have my sidekick Nicole. They are actually at the dentist getting their teeth cleaned. We did make a batch last night so that we can have to show you at the end, and I will tell you, my whole family, including Nicole and my husband, who does not like broccoli, he always needs melted cheese on top of it to eat it, they all gave it a thumbs up. So I'm excited to share this recipe with you. If you have people in your family who are broccoli lovers, it's a fun way to eat broccoli. And if you have the pickiest eater, try this as a way to, it kind of is like a pancake, a fritter's like a pancake. And we're going to bake it, so it's going to be a lot healthier. We're not frying it. Traditionally, fritters and different kind of pancakes and crab cakes are fried. So this will be crispy. You can use, I have fresh broccoli. I had already washed and cut the florets off fresh broccoli. You can certainly use frozen broccoli florets. So I'm making a full recipe. I'll post it in the comments after the live. I have about 4 cups of florets, and you can rough chop them, but I'm just going to throw them into my food processor here just to make it easier. Now since we're baking this, I have my oven preheating at 400 degrees. So I'm just going to give this a quick rough chop. Okay. I'm just going to show you the consistency. We're not fine chopping it. It is, you know, there's still little pieces of florets in here. So this actually is like the perfect consistency. There's a few bigger pieces in here, but that's okay. So I'm actually going to move this out of the way. I washed my hands, I have my ring off. We're going to kind of mix it up like a meatball. All right, so I'm adding the broccoli. Okay, then we are going to add 2 eggs. I've already just gently mixed them up. This is going to help bind everything together. Now this is cheese and broccoli fritters. I like the combination when you add 2 different kinds of cheeses. So we are using a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And I have sharp cheddar cheese that we're going to add as well. And I'm going to add 1/4 cup of flour. So 1/4 cup of Parm cheese, 1/4 cup of flour to kind of hold it all together. If you are gluten-free, you can substitute a different flour, almond flour. Okay, so broccoli florets, and we need to add our onion. I have scallions. Again, depending on the size of your scallions, you might use 1 or 2. This has nice 3 big ones. So I'm just going to give it a nice little slice. The scallions add just a subtle flavor to it. You can certainly play around with other ingredients, other herbs. A few recipes that I looked at called for garlic, but if we're making this for children, they may not like the intense flavor of garlic. So that's why we're going with the scallions. They're light, they're fresh, they're green, so they will blend right in. Kind of going back to picky eaters, my son is a picky eater, and he likes wonton soup, but I have to pick out all the scallions that are in the broth for him because he sees it. So this is going to blend right into the green broccoli. Okay, if you want more flavor, you can definitely add more, and we're going to add a dash of pepper. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a gentle mix. And then I already have about 2 cups of the shredded sharp cheddar cheese I'm just going to add. All right, so we're going to mix this all together. We're going to get right in here with our hands. Oh, see, here's a big chunk. If you see big chunks, just chop it up because you do want them fine. And one thing I want to mention too is a lot of times when I do cooking demonstrations and cooking talks, we talk about food waste, and we're using broccoli florets as the ingredient in here. So don't throw out the stems. You can certainly them in other recipes, you can make it slaw. Like instead of a coleslaw, make a broccoli slaw using the stems. If I can find that recipe that we have, I will share that as well. Okay, so this feels moist. We're just mixing in all the ingredients so that we can make flat little pancakes. Okay, so I have lined a baking sheet with parchment paper. And you want these not too big. You want these pretty small, about 1/4 of a cup. Okay, so just put them into a tiny ball. About that size. So smaller than the palm of your hand. And just lay them on your parchment paper, flatten them down. Depending on how big you make them and how much broccoli that you did use, this could yield about 10 to 12 fritters. Last night when I made them, I have the recipe, so you can certainly just play around with the amount of the ingredients for how many servings that you want. Okay. So you would fill your whole baking sheet. Okay, you would fill your whole baking sheet with your patties. I'm just going to wash my hands. Okay, for time purposes, I'll come back to that later. So when they come home, they can enjoy their broccoli fritters. Okay. Now you can eat them as is, or some kids love to dip. My kids don't love a dip. I like to dip. So you can have ketchup and your kids can dip ketchup in there. I'm going to show you a really quick yogurt lemon dipping sauce. You can use Greek yogurt or you can use light sour cream. So I happen to have plain Greek yogurt. You can use about 3/4 of a cup or just one of the small containers here. Okay. It's a little thicker than using sour cream. And then you want to zest about 1/2 of a lemon, depending on the size. If it's a small lemon, you can use the whole thing. If you like a tangy flavor, this is going to be a great dip for the cheesy broccoli. So just put in about 1/2 a lemon zest and squeeze the lemon. Make sure you don't get those seeds. I felt one. Okay. This one has a thick skin, hard to squeeze. Okay. I caught a pit there. Okay. And then you really don't taste this. I'm only adding a little bit, but I have minced garlic and I have just 1/8 of a teaspoon. So just a really tiny amount of the garlic. You can certainly play with herbs if you have fresh dill. That would be really refreshing. You can add in a little fresh parsley, fresh chives, even fresh cilantro. So this is just a basic dip. Your light sour cream or Greek yogurt and some lemon zest and juice, and then add whatever kind of herb or spice that you want to it. Okay, just taste that. That's nice tangy, nice and lemony. I'm going to add a little bit more lemon. That first one was really hard to squeeze. It had a very thick peel. Okay. So there's some nice sauce. And if you're, entertaining, you just want to have, a nice dinner, you can garnish it with parsley or a few of the scallions. All right, so here is the finished product. Okay, so you're going to take your baking pan of fritters, put them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 12 to 14 minutes until you see the top nice and golden brown. Take a spatula, flip them, and let them bake for another 12 to 14 minutes. So it's about a half hour to make this recipe and to cook them. When they come out of the oven, put them on a paper towel lined plate, because the grease from the cheese, you want to absorb that up a little bit. So this is what the fritters look like. Right, you can see they're crispy. I didn't fry them, I just baked them. They're crispy on both ends. This is about the perfect size, a little smaller than the palm of my hand. So you definitely can eat them last night as we did, and we all love them, even my non-broccoli loving husband. I'm going to try it with the dip. Put a little on my plate. That looks so pretty with the garnish of the scallions on top. That's really good. I taste the broccoli, I taste the cheese, and the zesty tang of the sauce makes it really good. One thing I did want to mention was that broccoli is so nutritious. That's what kind of why I focus broccoli. You can use this with a lot of different vegetables that you have in your home, but broccoli, you really want your kids to eat broccoli. So if you have to hide it in food in any way, do that. It's loaded with vitamin C, it's loaded with folate, potassium, iron, calcium. So it's kind of one of those superfoods with a lot of nutrients, plus it has a good amount of fiber. So on nutrition it's good, on flavor it's good, and who doesn't like to eat a little pancake, right? So hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you make it. Try it out with your family. Maybe your broccoli lovers will enjoy it. Your picky eaters will like it too. I will post the recipe in the comments below. Nicole will be back next Friday. We're going to go back to something that will cool us down in these hot summer days. We're going to make homemade granita. So that's like a homemade ice with fruit. So tune in on Tuesday. Daryl will be live here showing you different things you can do with zucchini. Have a great weekend.